Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to another review for Halloween month. And now it's time for me to review, since the show is Halloween themed, so more I can see it. So now it's time to review. I haven't done one in a while, so time for me to review another episode of Goosebumps from my beloved books that I've loved growing up, and this one has been this episode we're reviewing has been almost done in 2 parts though, but I have it like a watch. It's not in 2 parts though, but still, it's considered one of the best ones on the TV show. And it's considered one of the best ones, and that is and also among one of the most popular books as well, and that is of The Werewolf of Fever Swamp. So I got the DVD of this, let alone I got the original book as well. So yeah, the Werewolf of Fever Swamp is considered one of the best ones of the series, as well as the popular TV show as well. So, but yeah, I enjoyed the Werewolf of Fever Swamp. Plus, it's the title of what kind of swamp it is, Fever Swamp. I always enjoy that title of it. Not just because werewolf, but the name of the swamp is Fever Swamp. Yeah, but I also got the Jigsaw puzzle as well. I got a long time ago. Yeah, but I enjoy the Werewolf of Fever Swamp. So I'm gonna hold on to this because I got the DVD, but I just want to show I have it. But I just because talk about the episode, but I figured I should hold the book up. So, but I enjoy the book, and I do enjoy the episode as well. It was released tonight, like most of the for the first season. I think it was released in 1996, and I also remember having it on the VHS tape as well, but tucked away though. So, but I still have the VHS tape of it. But I enjoyed this episode growing up, especially watching it from my old VHS tape. Now, as for the TV for the episode, it was well received. The episode, and as well as the book, which this is the 14th entry in the series. The book is on a quick note on how much of the. As for the book, was first published. Book was featured in USA Today's top 150 best-selling books database for 73 weeks. The peak position of 24. It was in 2001. It listed in the 209th best-selling children's paperback books of all time. It's having sold by Publishers Weekly, having sold over 1,500,000 copies. So yeah. It's been ranked as one of the most better ones of the best-selling ones of the series. And as for the cast of the episode of the cast, those well known of course is the kid who plays Grady. Is played by Brendan Fletcher. Now two films I mostly remember him from. Well, he first started in Air Bud. He was one of the kids that in Air Bud, our main character Josh, there was one kid that used to be on his basketball team, but his father made him go into another basketball team, and he used to call Josh a water boy. And then by the end of the game, when he made that 3-point shot, he goes, "Water boy, nice shot." Yeah, so he was in Air Bud, and then he was also starring in Freddy vs. Jason. He was the character Mark, who knew a lot about the Freddy and Jason murders until Freddy Krueger, when he was asleep, he burned his back, killed him by burning his back, saying Freddy's back, along with a slash to the face as well. So yeah, Brendan Fletcher, yeah. So I mostly remember from he's been in other stuff as well, but I remember him mostly from Air Bud and Freddy vs. Jason. Which a couple of other kids, a couple other kids that were starting some episodes of Goosebumps will also star in Freddy vs. Jason as well. And as for the rest of the cast who played the parents and the sister, that they all did fine as well. And just the look of the episode, you know, how the show showcased the swamp and the with the darkness and the atmosphere, I thought was really well shot for the episode, giving the creepy vibe to it of when they're walking into Fever Swamp, and just a really atmospheric, and just which especially since it was made in the 90s, I always enjoyed the 90s look to it as well, which I miss. I miss the 90s look to certain stuff like this. So Grady and his family, they moved to this place. Their parents are scientists, and they have these deer in the pen. I think it was some test to do with a deer, and then Grady meets this new friend named Will who lives like near him, and then. So there's also this, like in the book, he meets there's this hermit that lives in Fever Swamp, which he is looking for a werewolf, and which Will tells him about the story of a werewolf as well, in the book too. And then they come across this dog, which in the book the dog, his name is Wolf. But in the episode, they call the dog Vandal. So yeah, it's Vandal instead of Wolf. And strange things start happening, but creepy bumps in the night, and then which leads to later when the hermit, which is actually the hermit is played by I was looking up who played the hermit. Played by Don Franks. Now, I was like, when I looked up what he starred in, because back then, I didn't think of nothing, but the Don Franks who plays the hermit in Fever Swamp, he was going to play the chief in My Bloody Valentine, because the series most of this entire series was filmed in Canada, so. And My Bloody Valentine is a Canadian slasher film, so it's fitting, yeah, because Goosebumps was mostly done in Canada. But Don Franks, he played the chief in the original My Bloody Valentine. And I was like, wow, My Bloody Valentine as well. And not only that, he played My Bloody Valentine, but he also voiced Sabretooth in the 90s X-Men series as well. And I love the X-Men series. That's one of the best. That was one of my favorite superhero cartoons of the I grew up watching, along with Batman the Animated Series, as well as with X-Men and the Amazing Spider-Man 90s TV show. So yeah, he voiced Sabretooth in X-Men, and then he starred in My Bloody Valentine. Okay, so now that I think about it, I was like, okay, cool now. Yeah. And one time when they get spotted, when Grady's with Will, they get spotted. Grady gets caught in the net and is taken back to the hermit's shack. And eventually he gets let go. He gets let go, and then he makes it back to his house. And then his mom gets there, in which they find out a dead deer, and they think the dog is responsible. Like in the book, they think the dog was responsible for the deer getting killed. So then Gray locks his mom in the shack because he thinks that the hermit is a werewolf. So he locks her in the shack to be safe while he looks for Vandal, and he hears Will scream. So he goes over to his place, and his place is in complete shambles. And then his sister comes home, and then the werewolf appears. And for the look of the werewolf, well, you see it's mostly up close shots. Like first you see the claws and then the teeth. Well done effects, as well as the suit and stuff. When you see the werewolf suit, it is well done effects. So Because that's not because a lot of the stuff they do stuff practical with monster effects though, except for a lot of times for the monster blood. But no, for the most part there was some CG enhancements for the monster blood, but for the most part you see some of it was practical though. But for the most part, for when to do with the creatures and monsters in the show, a lot of it is well done practical effects and makeup effects as well. So and when you see that close shot of when the werewolf flashes his teeth and claws, well done effects. And then it chases the sister, and she lets herself in with the mom and starts banging on the doors. And then he hears Grady calling out the dog's name, chases him, and then the werewolf gets caught in the net. Then the hermit who comes out, which turns out he's not the werewolf, he's not the culprit. Saying that he took away his wife and children, and then he tells Grady to run, and then he says, "Look out." Then the werewolf attacks the hermit. The guy screams, and it cuts away, though. You don't see it, though, but it's implied that the werewolf kills him. But like I say, it cuts away, but you hear the guy screaming. And then the clouds cover up the moon. The werewolf changes back partly, and it's Will. He's the werewolf. But when the clouds part ways, showing the full moon, he's back in the werewolf, attacks Grady, then Vandal comes in and pushes the werewolf into the quicksand. And that's the end of him. Which is it is a bit different though, but like in the book, it's when the dog attacks the werewolf and Grady passes out and the hermit brings him back, though, so it's a little bit different there. So afterwards, since they were wrong about Vandal, so they're going to keep him, so since they were wrong about him. And then later during the night, Grady comes out, when the moon steps out, when the moon is full, he starts howling now. So, in the book, he becomes the next werewolf, and it's implied here when he starts howling at the moon. So, yeah, but so the Werewolf of Fever Swamp, I do enjoy this. Another enjoyable episode. This is a short, it's only an episode review, so it's not going to be that long. But I enjoyed the episode. Like, the cast overall was good, and then the effects of the werewolf was good as well. Really well done. Like I said, the atmosphere, mood of the locations, the way it was shot, plus give it the '90s look to it as well. But I enjoy the show. So yeah, the Werewolf of Fever Swamp. It's another enjoyable Goosebumps episode, especially for the book as well as the TV episode. So that's my review of the Werewolf of Fever Swamp. My thoughts on it. Great episode, as well as a book, as well as the story as well of the book. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more for Halloween month later.